The Fantasy Flow Podcast is trading for Kirk Cousins. Hey, welcome into the Fantasy Flow Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We're your hosts, Austin and Andy. Andy, how's it going, brother? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good, my man. Weekend was good. Ohio State got the victory. Seahawks got the victory. I'm living large this weekend.
I see that. Yeah. For our audio listeners, Andy's decked out head to toe in Ohio State gear. I mean, yeah, we get it. They're the number one team in the country. They came to our city and beat our best team, and you're celebrating. But yeah, I get it. I get it. You're an Ohio State guy, have been for a long time. Blah blah blah. No, congrats. Yeah, they looked great. It was a boringly decisive victory for Ohio State.
They really are like the Dallas Cowboys, the Yankees of college football, right? So I get it. I get the ridiculousness. I'm not oblivious, but it is my team.
There's worse college fan bases. I mean,
Sure.
I wouldn't say you're like the Cowboys of college. That's probably, well, Alabama wins too much, so I don't know. I'd have to think. But anyway, yeah. This is an NFL podcast, believe it or not. Right. And speaking of NFL, Andy, I got 4 questions for you off the rip. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here's 4 questions off the rip. Question number 1. The Steelers and the Falcons both won while the rest of their divisions lost. Who needed it more?
Oh, the Steelers for sure.
Yeah. Gotta get those games up on the Ravens while you can. Question number 2. Name the 4 undefeated quarterbacks in the NFL.
Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts.
Easy.
I'm lost.
Jackson Dart.
Oh,
1-0.
Of course.
And Mac Jones, 2-0, baby.
Oh, wow. And he might have to come back.
Well, yeah, they threw in Brock Purdy and they lost. I mean, coincidence?
Yeah. And Brock Purdy got hit up on the injury report today.
Interesting. Okay. Question number 3. On a scale of 1 to 10, where should the panic meter be for the Baltimore Ravens?
For panic, 4 out of 10.
Okay. Oh, that makes me feel better. Last question. Who won the Micah Parsons trade? Packers or Cowboys?
Neither.
All right, that's a cop-out, but I'll let you take it because it's a ridiculous question after week 4. But boy, what a game, huh? A 40-40 tie on Sunday Night Football. Like, that's insane. That's the like the NFL script is just insane.
Yes,
they keep getting away with this, and we keep laughing it up.
Yeah. Especially on a primetime game, everyone's watching. Lots of drama. Cowboys fans involved. Highest scoring tie game in NFL history. I mean, every year there's like this crazy first time in NFL history stat that happens throughout the season. And it's just like, this will never be topped. And then a new one pops up. This will never be topped.
It's a crazy game. And I think what blew me away most was Dak Prescott and the Cowboys wide receiver core with no CeeDee Lamb just carving up the Packers secondary. It was like Micah Parsons and that pass rush didn't even have time to get to Dak because they were just creating separation and just firing the ball so quickly with such consistency. I was blown away by these guys, the Kevontae Turpins and the Jalen Tolberts. They were doing work against what I had considered to be a good defense. I mean, I know I have Packers fans in my life, and they love to complain about the secondary, but I thought that really showed its ugly head today, on Sunday night. And, Micah Parsons was like a no-show for chunks of the game, and I think it's because of the efficiency of the passing game.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you pay Dak Prescott. As much crap as we give Jerry Jones, the Cowboys, and how maybe Dak isn't going to take you to the Super Bowl, this is why you have him as your starting quarterback, is because he can lead you to almost victories like these when everyone is against you.
Totally. And I mean, Micah Parsons was getting double teams pretty much the whole game,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they it didn't matter because they were able to just take advantage of numbers elsewhere. Like they could totally just send the running back to help on whichever side Micah Parsons lined up on, and that ended up being a viable game plan, which shocked me. Let's go elsewhere. What else stood out to you this week, Andy?
Yeah. Coming back to the Steelers, man, they looked like a top 5
They look
team in
great.
the AFC, right? Like,
Dude, Kenny Gainwell looked like a top 5 running back.
yeah. I mean, after that crazy performance of a defensive performance that Minnesota had against
Yeah.
Cincinnati, and then they just like completely fall on their face against the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this had to have been Aaron Rodgers' best statistical game in probably like 3 years.
Yeah, and he was happy, and the whole offense was happy. DK Metcalf was happy. Like everything was working. Like this was exactly what Steelers fans imagined they would see all off season, and they finally got it all in one game, and it was great to see. And then the Vikings even made it entertaining for the Irish crowd and everyone watching from home. They had a nice little comeback at the end to make it interesting. But yeah, this was pretty much Steelers all the way. And going back to the top of the show, it's going to be interesting, but in that division, I mean, are the Steelers just destined for 9-8 again? And this was just a fun start, or are they actually going to threaten to win the AFC North?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think they'll get double digit wins right at 10, and by the way things are going, that might be enough to win the division.
And speaking of the division, I mean, boy, I don't really want to talk about it, but I kind of have to. The Ravens got absolutely spanked by the Chiefs. This is crazy. They're 1-3, and Andy, their 3 losses are against the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Lions. So, I mean,
Mm.
obviously great teams. 2 of those games were on the road, but at the same time, like expectations were higher than that. Like the Ravens they're supposed to be like the best of the best. This is like Super Bowl or bust. So if you just fold every time you play another really good team, well, that's like that's what gets you bounced in the playoffs. That's what's gotten you bounced in the playoffs, and it's this pass defense over and over again. That's what really stuck out to me. They're getting shredded by like Juju Smith-Schuster, and Tyquan Thornton scores again. It's just like, I mean, credit to Mahomes, but like, I thought the Ravens had the guys this year.
Yeah, we all did,
Yeah.
and I know their defense is just, oh boy, they're either, it sounds like they're pretty hurt, either on their offensive line. Maybe I know Kyle Van Noy's been out for a little while.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah.
yeah, when I was watching the 49ers game, I was like, wow, these guys are kind of really bad. Like 6, 7 drop passes in one game. And then then it would flip over to the Ravens game. I'm like, man, I think the Ravens are worse.
Oh boy, yeah, they're gonna get Isaiah Likely back, which is a plus for the offense. But yeah, we really got to see it, and kept burying the lead here. I mean, Lamar Jackson left the game at the end of the third quarter with a hamstring issue. It didn't sound super serious, but they're kind of being a little sneaky with it. And all season we've been recording on Monday night, so we don't know the latest info as you're listening to this. But it sounds like he might miss this next week. So that's obviously super tough. But you just hope that they can hang in there because this beginning of their schedule was really tough. I had higher expectations than 1-3, but yeah, their schedule really opens up here in the middle of the season. So I'm not worried long term. I'm right with you. I think like 4 or 5 on the panic meter. But let's go elsewhere. Let's talk about a really good competitive game. I want to talk Giants Chargers. That was like the most headlines out of one game because you had Jackson Dart making his first NFL start. You had Cam Scatabo making basically his first NFL start as the running back. And then Malik Neighbors at the beginning of the game, he tears his ACL. So it's just like all this stuff going on, and somehow the Giants find a way to win. Andy, what did you think of Jackson Dart's performance and the Giants as a whole?
Yeah, I think it helps to not have any tape on the guy, and so you don't really know how to prepare for this team. It was at home, so Chargers had to fly across the country to New Jersey, so that definitely was in the Giants' advantage. And I mean, we've been preaching it all season long, right? The Giants' defense is for real, and it showed up. And as long as the offense can get 2 to 2.5 touchdowns to around 20 points, I think the defense can hold their end of the bargain, and that's exactly what happened. And I mean, credit to Jackson Dart, credit to the coaching staff for doing their research and actually drafting a quarterback, going with him early. We'll see if this can continue. You know, it was a
Yeah.
formidable win, but we've seen rookies go all over the place, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happens to Jackson Dart.
I think it was a great move by the coaching staff to switch quarterbacks. Russell Wilson in this late stage, I've said it for years, like he's just too conservative. It'll be 3rd and 10, and he'll throw a dump off. Like it's just like you can't do that. You just got to make something happen. Make something happen. Give your guy a chance downfield. Do something with your legs. And like Russell Wilson's just not willing to do that. He's going to collect his paycheck and go home. That's kind of where he's at right now. Jackson Dart's not. You know, he's a rookie and he's a dynamic athlete. We saw that. He only had like 100 passing yards, but he got a rushing touchdown, and he was always a threat to run. That helped open things up for the rest of the offense. And yeah, even with no Malik Neighbors, um, very encouraging, very interesting moving forward. So yeah, I loved what I saw there. Elsewhere, Andy, let's talk about this Rams Colts game,
Woo.
or what people are calling the AD Mitchell game.
Oh, yikes. What a bonehead move.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For those of you who missed it, AD Mitchell, you know, we've seen guys score a massive touchdown and then drop the ball right before crossing the end zone. This was like that, but it was a little different because he kind of like stuck it out to like what my 60 something year old dad would call hot dog. He went out to like sort of like you know style on him, and the ball just popped out of his hands, and then he was like, oh no no no, and then it went out of the back of the end zone for basically a turnover, and that was the difference in the game. They lost by 7. So, and also AD Mitchell, he had a clear, obvious offensive holding call that called back a Jonathan Taylor 50-yard touchdown run. So basically 2 touchdowns off the board because of AD Mitchell, who was only even in the game because Alec Pierce was out with a concussion. So this was just an absolute insane, just comedy of errors, all centering around one guy. And I hate that that's kind of what decided the game because this was a great game. Besides that, Puka Nakua set a career high in receiving yards. Talk about the other side, Andy. I know you got Puka in a couple places. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, he is the number one player in fantasy football right now. He is, I mean, he is just
Yeah.
super consistent, super just over the top on it on pretty much everything. He can run the ball, he can catch the ball, he can take dump offs, he can catch it over the middle. He is everything for this team, and boy, did they need every inch of every catch, every target going his way, pretty much. And to that comment of Adion Mitchell dropping the ball before walking to the end zone, Jonathan Taylor did the exact same thing last year, and it's just crazy how the same thing happens to the same team back to back years. I know different players, obviously, but it's one of those things where you're gonna get ridiculed for it a week or two afterwards, but you'll most likely never do it again.
They'll never do it again. Someone will, but not them.
Right, right, right. But yeah, credit to the Rams. I mean, they look good. They look
Yeah.
really good. That defense is strong. I know Jared Verse had like got hurt for a little bit, had to come out, but they didn't skip a beat against an undefeated Colts team, which I think again talking about that like is another top 5 AFC team in the AFC.
Yeah, the Colts are for real. That's what I learned. Even though they didn't win this game, they went toe to toe with one of the best teams in the league. The Rams, they probably should have won last week, and they probably should have lost this week. So 3-1 is about right. But yeah, I think they're right there. Um, Andy, I just want to give ourselves a little pat on the back. Right before the season started, one of our fantasy draft episodes, we said, okay, who's the best pick of the first round? And the two of us gave Amon-Ra St. Brown, who scored 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games, and Puka Nacua, who leads the league in targets, receptions, and yards. So, yeah,
Insane.
those were
Insane.
some pretty good picks. The Bears, hey, you can't say you were never on the right end of a last second kick.
Right. Right.
Back to
Yeah.
2-2. This might be
Yeah.
just an irrelevant football game that we'll never talk about, or this could be the reason why the Bears sneak into the playoffs. Time will tell.
True, true. I remember calling you at the end of that game, and the Bears fans at the stadium, the camera pans to them, and they're just going nuts, as you should, right? You block a field goal to win the game, like that's crazy. But I just commented to you like these guys are going crazy, and they just went to 500. They're 2-2, like they're going. Where we won, we're back to even, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, still in last place in the division.
Oh, that was too funny. That was too funny.
How could I turn the page without talking about our Seattle Seahawks, Andy? I know it was all the way back on Thursday, but I don't want to forget about it. I want to credit those guys for a great win, especially the defense. They looked absolutely solid. Leonard Williams. I mean, we got some guys back on the secondary. Julian Love. Like it was an all around performance. I know the Cardinals kind of made it a game there at the end, but I felt really comfortable the whole game. Sam Darnold, 0 turnovers, just it was just a studly performance all around, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, totally, totally. It's hard to complain. It's hard to find a weak spot. It's hard to find a hole when we have a performance like that. Maybe just we took off our foot off the gas just a little bit there towards the end, but I told my other friend, I think that's a pretty common theme here with the NFL. We're seeing teams just be really conservative in the third and fourth quarter, and I mean, look at Philadelphia, look at Seattle. I mean, even the good teams. Look at Buffalo. For a while there, the Saints and
Yeah,
Buffalo game
yeah.
was the
Let him
closest.
hang in there for a long
Right,
time.
right. So I don't think it's a Seattle problem. I think it's a league problem right now. And so that makes me feel a little bit better at least.
And final shout out to JSN because boy, I thought when he was coming out of Ohio State, the Ohio State, I thought he was a smaller sort of quick, he would do the quick routes and he wasn't really like a complete all-around wide receiver one who could handle anything, any assignment given to him. And that's exactly what he stepped up to become for the Seahawks. That's who Sam Darnold needs, who the offense needs, especially after letting go of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. It's like, man, like he's an absolute star. And he's going to get paid a huge contract after this year, probably.
Right. Right.
Uh, and that's totally fine with me. Pay to me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
he's
Yes.
wonderful. All right. With that said, let's talk about some terrible teams, and specifically the Team Elimination Challenge after Week 4. Okay, so we've already eliminated the Saints, the Browns, and Andy, you stumped for eliminating the Titans last episode, and that looks real smart after they lost 26-0. So thank you. This week, some teams in consideration. We had an 0-3 versus 0-3 that just wrapped up as we're recording. Dolphins, Jets. The Dolphins win, so they improve to 1-3. The Jets lose, they go to 0-4. They're the only 0-4 team that we haven't eliminated. But the Dolphins just lost Tyreek Hill for what appears to be the rest of the season. And I don't know, elsewhere around the league, the Panthers looked horrible. I don't know. Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm thinking, how do we not eliminate an 0-4 Jets? But I'm also really thinking Geno Smith and the Raiders, they're just bad. Like, and they're in like one of the toughest divisions in football. I just, how do they come out of that even in a wild card? I mean, they have to fight through a lot to make it up in the standings. But at the same time, when you're 0-4, I think the percent is probably less than 1 to make the playoffs.
It was so sloppy. I feel so bad. I feel like the Jets were honestly the better team. There was a bunch of calls that didn't go their way, and moving forward, the Dolphins don't have Tyreek Hill. I had half a mind to like say we just eliminate the Dolphins anyways, despite
Right.
the fact that they won the game. But looking at next week, the Dolphins play the Panthers, so
Mm,
that could be they could start to build some momentum there. Maybe we eliminate the loser of that game next week. I don't know.
sure, sure.
Um, and then the Raiders, they get the Colts. So that's tough. Jets play the Cowboys. Okay, we just got to pick a team. You just keep it simple. Eliminate the Jets.
I think we have to. I think,
They're
like I
cursed
said,
anyways. They're
yeah,
so
they are cursed, and like I said, I think the percent is like less than 1 because when you go 0 and
yeah.
3, it's like 2%.
I think they're better than their record, but I also
Me
think
too.
that
Me
there's
too.
no way they make the playoffs.
Yep, I agree.
They're done.
You go.
Let's talk about week 5. Okay, real quickly, just previewing sort of the highlights of what's going on next week. Thursday night football. It's the other two NFC West teams, the 49ers and the Rams. Looks like a good game, but you mentioned Brock Purdy may or may not play. Um, I would love to see a primetime Mac Jones, but I'm probably in the minority. I think most people want to see these teams at full strength duke it out. And then you got the Seahawks going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What else? Chargers, Commanders. That's interesting if Jaden Daniels can return. What do you think, Andy? What's
Now,
catching your attention?
just honestly, all the primetime games. I went through all the games, and I was like, good team versus bad team, good team versus bad team. And like you said, 49ers, Rams, it's going to be nice to sit back, watch watch our own division rivals beat up on each
Yeah,
other.
eat each other.
Yeah. Pat's Bills on Sunday night, like that's another divisional game. I think the Patriots are really starting to get better. They're really starting to find their flow. Drake May looks good. That could be good. And then Jaguars, Kansas City. I'm having a hard time believing Jaguars are actually for real, but they keep on stacking wins, and it's in Arrowhead, but if they can come out of Arrowhead with a victory, then we have to they have to they have now entered the chat. We have to include them in the conversation.
Yeah, the Jags haven't played anybody yet, so
Yeah,
we'll see this week.
True.
All right,
True.
looking to fantasy football, real quick, guys. Bye weeks, they're here. This is week 5, and the Packers, Steelers, Bears, Falcons are all on bye. So there's a lot of big players on those teams, so you got to be careful. Let's talk about players we're flowing into our fantasy lineups. Last week was hit and miss for us, but our QB starts of the week, Jordan Love and Justin Fields, they showed out. And this week, I'm flowing in Jackson Dart. Okay, his second start. I liked what I saw. Like I said, only 100 passing yards, but I don't care when you have 10 rushing attempts and a rushing touchdown. This is fantasy points. And look, the Saints are a friendly matchup. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot better than the Chargers, even without Malik Neighbors. I like what Jackson Dart's going to be able to do this week.
That is a bold take. I saw that game and I was like, that's a trap game. That's going to be the Saints' first win. Trap game.
The Saints are favored. The Saints are favored.
Yeah, the Saints are favored,
at home by 1.5 points, I think.
Crazy, which is nut. I wouldn't be shocked if that switches here in a day or in a half or so. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he has the running capability. He has the moxie. He has no tape, so teams don't know how to prepare. We'll see who he picks to be his favorite wide receiver or tight end, because
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Kyler Murray against the Tennessee Titans. I think that's an easy smash. I know he's been up and down for fantasy football, and he didn't look great against the Seahawks, but again, kind of your same logic. It's an easy matchup against Tennessee Titans. They are trash. Even Cam Ward came out on it to an interview today or yesterday and said, yeah, we're butt. We aren't good. And that means plug and play, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a great matchup. And guess what? Kyler is probably dropped in every fantasy league. So he's available. You can go pick him up. Uh, yeah, like I said, I like Jackson Dart against the Saints, and I like Wan'Dale Robinson to lead the team in
Mm.
receptions. He already catches a sneaky amount of balls. People just don't talk about him because of Malik Neighbors, but now he's going to step up. He's going to be the one. And I think it's a volume play, but it's also a matchup play. I think Wan'Dale should be flexed in a lot of leagues.
I think he's the most talented wide receiver on that team, minus the Malik Neighbors now
Yeah.
injury. So yes, I would hope that's the case. I think it's going to be dependent on how Jackson Dart plays football, who he favors. But yes, I would push my chips into that basket than any other. I'm going to go Michael Pittman as my wide receiver because you might own him, but you might not have been playing him. And I am here to tell you he is now deserving to move into the starting lineup, take somebody else out. A Marvin Mims, I don't know, a Devontae Smith, somebody that's you're kind of on the fence about. Plug in Pittman. He's going to get you your 15, 17 points, and you're not going to regret it, especially this week against the Raiders.
Yeah, I love that pick. Yeah, he's clearly the number one for a top 10 offense. And we weren't
Right.
talking about him like that in the offseason, but we got to be talking like that about him now. My last player that I'm flowing into my lineup, I'm going back to that Cardinals versus Titans game. I'm flowing in Trey Benson. Uh, he was like the number one waiver wire pickup last week, and a lot of you guys probably started him, and he disappointed. But that was because it was a short week against a very difficult opponent in the Seahawks defense. And this week's the total opposite, right? He's coming off of that Thursday night game, so he has an extra long week to prepare for a very beatable defense. And I think it should just be a running game script for most of the second half. So I expect Trey Benson to get his.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's a great point. I'm going to go Woody Marks. I'm going to chase the
Yeah.
points like you did with Trey Tucker there last week. I am going to say it sounds tough on paper. Houston against Baltimore, but as we just mentioned, the Baltimore's defense is really, really bad. And Woody Marks is obviously the best running back on this team. And if this coaching staff doesn't take what he just did and give him more opportunities, then they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because you're atoning for my sins last week where I said to start Nick Chubb. I happened to pick the one week that the Texans just totally switch over to the rookie. It was a great matchup, very smart of them to do so, build his confidence, and yeah, I don't expect them switching back anytime soon because he looked fantastic. In order to flow players into your lineup, you got to flow other players out of your lineup. So let's go negative here. And look, I'm not helping the audience at all if I talk about players who are bench players. Okay, these are guys you have to take out of your lineup. Andy's cringing because he knows that I'm not afraid to go top shelf with some of these picks. And his first name here, it's a quarterback that you are going to be excited to start this week, and I don't think you should. It's Jaden Daniels going up against the Chargers. It's a very tough defense. It's his first game back from injury. He may or may not have Terry McLaurin. And the first 2 weeks of the season, Jaden Daniels wasn't a top 12 quarterback, anyways. So I would just wait a week.
Yeah, I almost put him down just based on the fact that he might not even play. We're like, what is this injury? What is going on? I mean, I
Yeah.
know they're being conservative, but like they lost. Like they gotta throw him back out there. So I totally agree. I totally agree with
I
this
like
take.
I like your start of the week, Kyler Murray. I like Daniel
Hmm.
Jones, Matthew Stafford more than Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, those are great points. I'm going to go with Drake May. Now, he had a crazy performance against the Panthers, and he ran one in. So now you're like, wow, if he has that capability, maybe I can plug him in. And I know the Patriot. I just said the Patriots are on their way. They're flowing. They're getting better. They're figuring it out.
Yeah.
It's against the Buffalo Bills, and I'm just really nervous for him this particular week. But I think he's a great stash. Go find him on the waiver wire. There's going to be better matchups for him in the future, just not this week.
Yeah, always scary going into Buffalo. I do love what I saw him and Stephon Diggs finally had like a great game where they were connecting, multiple times. Um, but yeah, no, I can definitely see it. That's a really tough matchup. Next player that I'm flowing out of my lineup, I'm going back to the well. Brian Thomas Jr. Put him back on your bench. You don't have
Yeah.
to just keep hurting yourself. If you haven't already, just go ahead and bench him. This week he's going up against the Kansas City Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo. I don't like that matchup at all. That's scary. And Travis Hunter seems to be kind of emerging. He just had his best game of his young career.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm benching Brian Thomas Jr. There's a number of these top flight wide receivers who are kind of disappointing. Um, I feel like I have more of a pulse on Brian Thomas Jr. So again, I'm saying that I'm willing to bench him.
Yeah, it's kind of like your take last week of benching Marvin Harrison on a primetime game. You're saying the same thing to Brian Thomas on a primetime game against a formidable opponent. And it's one of those things. I mean, it's just why take the risk? Why it's not worked? Why punish yourself even more? I totally
Yeah.
agree. I'm putting him on there. I don't have any stock, but I'm putting him on there until I see otherwise.
Man, that
Um,
benching Marvin Harrison Jr. last week, that take of mine looked so good for 3 quarters.
oh yeah, yeah, and I don't. I think it was still a strong take. I think a lot of people took your advice. I think
I
listen to
took
us
my
or not.
advice. Yeah,
I
I benched
yeah,
him.
I think a lot of people did, and I didn't fault anybody for it, and just as I would for Brian Thomas Jr. at this point. I'm gonna highlight the Washington game, just like you did. Man, those running backs, like they can't without Jaden Daniels, they can't quite figure out who's the starter, who's the best, who deserves the most, and maybe they never will. I'm just gonna bench Bill this week. They're going against the Chargers. They have to travel across the country to L.A. Against a really tough defense with or without Jaden Daniels. I'm not putting Bill into my lineup this week.
Yeah, that's a great call. All right, last one. Andy, you're not going to like this, but I'm flowing out J.K. Dobbins because this week he's
Wow.
going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, which is a very difficult defense. They control the ball, they control the time of possession, and I just anticipate the Denver Broncos having to pass a lot, especially in the second half. And he's not the pass catching guy. It's RJ Harvey who's the pass catching guy. RJ Harvey just caught his first passing touchdown, receiving
Mm,
touchdown, just an hour ago. So I don't know. I think this might be more of an RJ Harvey game just because of the game script. J.K. Dobbins, the first 3 weeks, he scored one touchdown in every single game, which makes you feel nice and warm and fuzzy and wow, his baseline's so great. But like that's not going to happen every week, and especially not against the Eagles. So
yeah,
uh,
and it's as it we just I'm just looking up at the box score right now. It didn't happen this week, but he did get 101 rushing yards. I get it. It's Cincinnati.
yeah,
Off of 16 carries. I mean, he averaged over 6 yards a carry. That's going to be a hard one to bench. But
I get it.
honestly, what I saw this game against Cincinnati, Bo Nix ran in a touchdown, Marvin Mims ran in a touchdown, RJ Harvey got a lot more work because they took the lead. So yeah, it's J.K. Dobbins isn't as safe as he was 2 weeks ago. So and yeah, going against Philadelphia, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Um, yeah.
Bengals play
The
the Lions next week.
oh wow.
Battle of the big cats. So start
Wow.
your David
Yeah.
Montgomerys.
Yes. Yeah. That would have been a great flow in. This last one, I I just want to give some like tight end advice. I have TJ Hawkinson in one league and it has just been so disappointing. I think I have to cut TJ Hawkinson. I know you drafted him high. I think I have to cut him and go find like a Brenton Strange, a Dalton Schultz.
Kyle
It
Pitts.
sucks. A Kyle. I mean, if Kyle Pitts is on the waiver wire, definitely a Kyle Pitts. I mean, that is going to be a personal hard, very, very like hard decision because TJ Hawkinson's talent is way better than these guys, but the performance is just not there. And I'd much rather get 6 to 10 points than 2-4.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally get it. I endorse that 100%. We don't know when JJ McCarthy's coming back, and we don't even know that that'll be better for Hawkinson. Like
Exactly.
we have no frame of reference. So,
Yeah.
and Jordan Addison is back, so that's one more mouth to feed.
Good point. Good point.
All right, time for the Fantasy Flow face-off. This is a game picks challenge. It's me versus Andy. Every week we take turns picking games against the spread. It's a season-long competition. Last week I went 2-1 and Andy went 1-2. So now we are all tied up. And look, the stakes are high, okay? Because in this season-long competition, at the end of the season, the loser must enter a high-stakes poker tournament and fold every hand until they're out. So with that in mind, Andy, tread lightly. Okay, what's your first pick for Week 5 against the spread?
Alrighty, baby. Let's go. Just as I mentioned before, we got the Commanders traveling across the country for a 125, 3 hours behind their normal schedule face off against the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers coming off that loss. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be ready for them. Give me the Chargers at -2.5 against the maybe Jaden Daniels Washington Commanders.
Right, Daniels is tentative. Terry McLaurin's tentative for that game. But Joe Alt, who was filling in at left tackle, I think he just rolled his ankle on Sunday. So are you worried about that at all? Or do you think they're going to just, the talent's going to take over?
Amari and Hampton still had like a 55-yard touchdown after Joe Alt got hurt. I'm not worried.
I'm glad we mentioned Omari and Hampton. We couldn't have gone this whole episode without bringing him up. That guy was a stud. He averaged like 10 yards a carry. So I like that pick. It wasn't near the top of my list, but I like the pick. This is a slam dunk. I'm going Indianapolis Colts to cover 6.5 points against the Raiders. Okay, they're pretty big favorites, and but they're at home, and they just got to win by a touchdown against a bad team. Colts get it done.
Yeah, you like those big spreads, and I'm gonna take full advantage of it. Give me the New York Giants to win by. I got one. So what are we deciding on that? I'll take.
No, that was literally the next one on my list that I was gonna take.
Okay.
I got plus 1.5.
1.5. I'll take the one plus 1.5. I'll take it as a pick 'em for at this point. I don't care. Whatever we want to do. Giants are gonna win. I previewed that it might be a trap game. It's not a trap game. Giants win this one.
So what is this mind games? Or you trying to save that pick for yourself? Trying to make me.
This is Hey man, this is a draft style. You could have had it, and I swept it underneath.
That's ridiculous. Oh man, you were crapping on my Jackson Dart start, and now you're taking him in the face off. All right, my second pick, I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
Ooh.
To win by at least 3 against the Jets. I love what I saw on Sunday night. They put up a 40-burger. And, if they can just replicate that against a lesser opponent, they should have no problem winning by more than a field goal.
Yeah, you're probably right. Jets are still looking for their first win, unfortunately for them. So, yeah, you're probably right. I didn't write that one down, though. You didn't steal it from me. Not today. I'm going to go... Man, this is a tough one here at the very end. You're making me...
Don't mess up,
pivot here.
You don't want to go to that poker tournament and fold every single hand.
No, that would suck. That's going to be you this week. I'm going to say Jags plus 3.5. Why not? Against Kansas City. I'm going to say Jags can make a close game.
Oh, you're betting against Patrick Mahomes, dude. It's over. It's over.
Hey, they just got to keep it close. I didn't say Jags will win. They just got to keep it close.
Oh, no, you're cooked. Okay, with my last pick, I want to go Bills because that just seems so safe. And you're right, I do like these big spreads, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something a little more fun. Like you, I'm going to take a 3.5 point underdog. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, traveling all the way across the country to Seattle. And I think it's crazy that the Seahawks, they were like a 1-point underdog against the Cardinals. They barely beat the Cardinals, and now suddenly they're 3.5-point favorites against the division-leading Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Make it make sense. Tristan Wirfs back. Chris Godwin's back. And I'm getting 3.5 points. Like, look, I'm a huge Seahawks fan, and I think they could mess around and win this game. But there's a Goldilocks zone. I can thread the needle here, right? The Seahawks can win, and the Bucs can still cover 3.5.
Man, what's worse, betting against Patrick Mahomes or betting against the Seahawks? That's a tough line right there.
Yeah, we'll see.
I am very hopeful that the Seahawks win, but this would be the game that we kind of cough up. I mean, it's just the classic Seahawks rise your hopes up at the beginning of the season and just fall down to reality against a really formidable team. So, yeah, you make a lot of sense, but it's still like a stab in the heart.
I get you. Yeah, hopefully the Seahawks win by 1.
Sure.
All right. That was it for the Fantasy Flow. Check us out everywhere you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube. Give us a like, subscribe, all the things. Yeah, good luck, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Thanks a ton for making it to the end of the episode. You're a real one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's a free, easy way to support the show, and it really helps us out. And leave us your comments down below if you're on YouTube, or send in your questions at thefantasyflowpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time.